The big Karnataka battle, the war over Tipu Sultan has ignited once again. And this time it was the Congress that seems to have sparked the debate. In his tweet, Congress President has hailed the 19th century ruler of Mysore, claiming him to be a symbol of communal harmony. The BJP has lashed out against Rahul Gandhi, saying Rahul has praised a mass murderer and a communal tyrant.
An 18th century ruler. Was he a benevolent dictator or a murderous Islamist? The contested history of Tipu Sultan has been raked up yet again. Time for the Karnataka elections, and this time by the Congress President. Eyewitnesses have told India Today that while Rahul Gandhi was visiting the Shringeri Mutt, he was told about how Tipu Sultan protected the temple and the Mutt when Marathas attacked the town. The temple administrator gave a background of how Tipu gave donations and gifts of gold to the temple. Rahul Gandhi then mentioned that Tipu Sultan's story about the Shringeri Mutt is an example of harmony and unity among people of Karnataka. But this praise has raised the hackles of the BJP, especially since the issue of Tipu Sultan has resulted in violence in the state, particularly after the Karnataka government started celebrating Tipu Jayanti in 2015. The BJP has made it clear that this will be an election issue, with Yogi Adityanath asking people to choose between Tipu and Lord Hanuman.
हनुमान जी की पूजा नहीं करते हुए टीपू सुल्तान की पूजा कर रहे हैं। ये मानसिकता का अंतर है, क्योंकि कांग्रेस अपने साथ विरासत में राहुल गांधी को एक माफिया जो राज मिला है उसी को वह लागू करना चाहते हैं, पूरे देश के अंदर लागू करना चाहते हैं।
It is very unfortunate that Congress President Rahul Gandhi and Congress Chief Minister Siddaramaiah are engaging in vote bank politics.
Who has helped the Nanjangud temple, Srirangpatna temples? He has also done a lot of work, and all his ministers and all were from Hindu community. He has lived very peacefully in old Mysore region, very peacefully with all the community people. During wars, he may have attacked some people. That is a different issue. When the Marathas attacked Shringeri Mutt, should we call the Marathas anti-Hindu?
With Karnataka in the midst of a hotly contested and polarized election, the issue of Tipu Sultan is nothing short of a hot button. Is the praise lavished on the ruler then a deliberate ploy by the Congress, or merely an interpretation of history? With Nolan Pinto and Nagarjun in Bangalore, Bureau Report, India Today.
So was Tipu Sultan a tyrant, a mass murderer, or was he a modernizer and a beacon of communal harmony? And how important is this to the voters of Karnataka in the forthcoming elections? Joining us on the Newsroom Showdown, I want to introduce Amit Malviya, spokesperson of the BJP, squaring off against him. We've got E. Radhakrishnan, spokesperson of the Congress. And for a historical perspective, Vipul Singh, he's a professor of medieval history at Delhi University. Remember, we haven't heard what Rahul Gandhi said himself, but what we've seen is a spokesperson of his party, a gentleman by the name of K. Divakar, who said that when Rahul Gandhi was taken around the Shringeri Mutt and when he was told about the donations that Tipu Sultan had made to this Mutt, he said that Rahul was impressed by this historical event and lauded Karnataka for being an example of communal harmony. Amit Malviya, the BJP says that Rahul Gandhi made it seem as if Tipu Sultan was a symbol of communal harmony. He didn't directly say this. And secondly, the fact that Tipu Sultan made donations to the Shringeri Mutt is a well-documented historical fact. It's been written about in many accounts. Why then is the BJP taking umbrage to this?
Well, Rahul, because the other Rahul Gandhi, is very poorly read on history, and I'm not surprised that he was fed in something by the individual who was taking him around, and he was in complete awe of Tipu Sultan. The fact of the matter is that under Tipu's reign, there are only 2 temples that were functional. 8,000 of them had been either razed down, deserted, or shut down. That is also a historical fact that has been recorded in several accounts of history. Why was the Shringeri met at the benevolence of Tipu Sultan, as is being written or portrayed? The fact is that towards the end of his reign in Mysore, when he was a feeble man, his kingdom was almost coming apart, the Marathas were rising, he used the Shringeri temple to make a political point to the Hindu constituents in his kingdom, who he had subjected for a very long time. And therefore, to say that he was a benevolent king who made donations to Shringeri is a bit far-fetched. It's like saying that, look, the man was a murderer, but the 105th victim that he saw, he probably let him go because he didn't feel like killing him. It's as bad an analogy that it can get.
Okay, let's hear from E. Radhakrishna, because if you see historical accounts, it's very clear that in the areas that Tipu Sultan attacked and was able to win over, he left a wake of destruction. Wherever he went, he pillaged temples, rapes were reported by his army, some attributed to himself. So the fact is that Tipu Sultan, the conqueror, left a lot of destruction in his wake, and he attacked temples and churches in particular. This also is an established historical account.
Mr. Rahul, when Rahul Gandhi spoke about the communal harmony, my friend Malaviya said that Rahul Gandhi is poorly read. A man who is poorly read can read more, and he reads more, while Mr. Modi and Mr. Malaviya has not read anything. I substantiate and say that it is not 8,000 temples. 8,000 temples never existed. The same Tipu Sultan created a Hindu endowment board called Muzarai, and through Muzarai he helped most of the Hindu temples to conduct their day-to-day worship. Now it is the fact that when Maratha Peshwas attacked, there are so many documents, so many archives are there. In Kozhikode you are quoting, in Kozhikode there is archives available that he has granted 87 lands for Hindu temples. Now it is Michael Sarako, a great historian, British historian, and Kat Brittleneck, recently an Australian researcher, have come out with a documented evidence that Tipu was not a bigot. Tipu was a ruler then. Tipu was a ruler. Chalukyas attacking Cholas, Krishnadevaraya attacking Gajapati kingdom. It happened while Maratha and Tipu also had an issue with Nizam. Nizams and Marathas have joined the British. Whoever has actually joined the British, well, Tipu attacked them. And when Raja Vadaya transferred Mysore kingdom capital to Srirangapatna, when Tipu later became the protector, the Dasara festivals were not actually abandoned. And he called Nanjundeshwara temple as Nanjunda Hakim.
Okay, stay with me, because this also is an important aspect of this debate. The fact that there were Muslims also who were upset with Tipu Sultan. The Nawabs of Savanur, Kadapa, Karnal were inflicted severe treatment for their disloyalty. This was, by many historical accounts, political in nature. Amit Malviya, it wasn't driven by religious motives. You have to also look at the circumstances of that time. It isn't as if he was picking on Hindus and Christians and leaving Muslims. He also attacked the Mapilas of Malabar, the Nawabs of Savanur, Kadapa and Karnal. So it's not as if it's only Hindus who are being attacked. Where it suited him, he attacked Muslim rulers and Muslim people as well.
Rahul, when Tipu Sultan ravaged Coorg and Malabar, and I'm talking about Malabar in particular, where he left devastation behind him, until to date there are reminiscences of the destruction that he brought around. Let me just quote to you a letter that Tipu Sultan himself wrote to Sayyid Abdul Dulai. He was one of the men who worked with him, and it says, With the grace of Prophet Muhammad and Allah, almost all Hindus in Calicut are converted to Islam. Only one on the borders of Cochin state, a few are still not converted. I am determined to convert them also very soon. I consider this as a jihad to achieve that object. This is the jihadi mindset and Islamist expansionist mindset. Now let me just quote to you quickly what William Logan's Malabar Manual, the Malabar Gazette, said about Tipu's ways. It said, most of the men and women were hanged in Calicut. First, mothers were hanged with their children tied to their necks. Tipu Sultan tied the naked Christians and Hindus, mind you, Hindus and Christians, to legs of elephants and made the elephants move around till the bodies of the helpless victims were torn to pieces.
May I answer?
Christian and Hindu women were forced to marry Mohammedans, and similarly their men were forced to marry Mohammedans.
I can't have a debate in this fashion. One at a time, make sense, not noise. Both faders go down. Neither of our guests will speak. Professor Radhakrishnan, you will come in when I ask you to and not before. You will not interject our speaker because that's not the way I like to run debates on the newsroom. One at a time, make sense, not noise. I want to go across to Vipul Singh because was Tipu Sultan really a tiger of Mysore, a bulwark against colonialism, a great sense of Karnataka, a unifier, or a man who destroyed temples and churches, a man who's rightly accused of tyranny and fanaticism, and how appropriate it is to apply 21st century morality to an 18th, 19th century ruler?
Hello?
Vipul Singh.
Rahul, there is no denying the fact that there are historical documents which suggest... Yeah. Rahul, I was just speaking on this. There is no denying the fact that there are historical documents which suggest that Tipu Sultan had actually punished many of the Hindu rulers of Coorg and Malabar and many other areas. But, you know, the important point for us to understand is that he is also one of the rulers who is fighting against the European colonialism. Now, he has actually punished, if you look minutely, he had punished all those who had supported the British. Now, that's very important for us to understand because, you know, all these accounts that have been highlighted are of the British historians. Now, the British historians have this tendency to, you know, vilify any ruler who has opposed him. And, you know, all these accounts have been presented as history. You know, they were not histories, but they were actually
okay, because he took on the British Empire in battle after battle, Amit Malviya, therefore British historians present Tipu Sultan, one second, one at a time, in negative light. Let Amit Malviya respond to this. Faders down, please. Amit Malviya, it's also a fact that the Marathas at that time attacked the Shringeri Temple when Tipu Sultan was ruling. So it's not only about a Muslim ruler attacking Hindu temples, the Marathas attacked the Shringeri Mutt as well. This again is a historical account. And the other charge that the historian makes, that the British historians depicted Tipu Sultan in bad light because he was the one Indian ruler who literally gave them a bloody nose on the battlefield.
Rahul, I knew that this is precisely the argument that some of the historians put forward, and therefore I intentionally quoted a Portuguese traveller and one who has been working in that area. There are several accounts of French travelers as well. So let's not get trapped into this British narrative, because while British may have an agenda, the Portuguese and the French were genuine travelers who had recorded history at that point in time, and nonetheless is draconian. Even today, if you go to Coorg areas, there are people who have Hindu surnames, but they are Muslim by practice, and these are the ones who were forced by Tipu Sultan to convert. So let's not try and whitewash the murderous legacy of Tipu Sultan. And what is indeed really very saddening, Rahul, is that Karnataka has a very rich legacy of Hindu rulers and modern makers of Karnataka.
To answer the question about the Marathas attacking the Shringeri Mutt, is it also not a fact that at that time the Marathas attacked the Shringeri Mutt? This is about political pragmatism. How much of this has to do with religion? If this was only about religion, the Marathas, who are Hindu rulers, wouldn't have been attacking the Shringeri Mutt.
The Shringeri Mutt at that point in time was part of the Mysore Empire, and the Marathas had attacked the Mysore Empire and not necessarily the Shringeri Temple. Therefore, let's not conflate the two. The issue is that the Marathas were rising when Tipu Sultan was on his way down, and that is what the conflict is all about. It was not about Marathas attacking the temple. And I reiterate this, there are several accounts. I would urge your readers, your listeners, to read this book called Tipu Sultan, the Tyrant of Mysore by Sandeep Balakrishna. It accounts in great details the tyranny that he unleashed. And one last point, Rahul, the Congress in Karnataka talks about Kannada pride. Let me tell your viewers, when Tipu Sultan was the king of Mysore, he replaced Kannada with Farsi. Is that the kind of pride that the Congress party has in the Kannada culture and language, that they're eulogizing a murderous barbarian like Tipu Sultan because they want to cater to the Muslim vote?
Okay, Professor Radhakrishna wants to come in and respond to what Amit Malviya is saying.
I would like to respond. They say lies are better than half-truths. My friend says about Kannada, Tipu Sultan's correspondence with Shringeri Mutt was in Kannada. We should know that when Krishnadeva was ruling Karnataka.
Amit Malviya, one at a time. I didn't allow Radhakrishna to come in when you were speaking. Give Radhakrishna the same courtesy.
No. Now the correspondence between Shringeri Mutt and Tipu was in Kannada. The marriage invitation of Mysore Maharaja later, after Tipu, was in Urdu. Urdu was the language in those days. Now you are unnecessarily injecting Marathi, Persian and Kannada were the official languages then in Karnataka practiced. And he is quoting some book. I would like to read a British historian, an academician of par excellence called Michael Sorako, who talks about the so-called conversions and fightings. So-called conversions and fightings in Malabar. Kozhikode archives you will have to see. I would not say that Kitturu Chennamma or Rani Abbakka, Tipu Sultan, Sangolli Rayana, all of them are great for Kannadigas. And Kannada pride you need not actually say. Tipu and Hanuman also, Yogi said. Hanuman also is a Kannadiga. And Hanuman and Tipu both are Kannadigas. And I'm really, BJP bereft of all this. I would like to say, why RSS called him a hero? Why Mr. Yadurappa, Jagadish Shettar, Sadananda Gowda, when they became the chief minister, they donned the cap of Tipu Sultan and hailed him as a great patriot. What happened today? When Rahul Gandhi, naturally when he saw Shringeri Mutt and spoke about the communal harmony that exists in Karnataka, which cannot be destroyed by whatever efforts our friends in BJP make, how many times Yogi Adityanath or Modi lands here.
Vipul Singh, because there are two facts and both are equally established. One is, one second. Okay, Professor Radhakrishna, you've spoken, faded down, please. The one fact is there are about 30 very reverential letters that have been written by Tipu Sultan in Kannada to the then Shankaracharya of Shringeri. It is equally a fact that in the wars that he led, he attacked people. A lot of those subjects who were attacked were non-Hindus. So how do you, in the 21st century and in the context of morality we apply today, reconcile both these facts?
See, I told you that we have to see all these developments in the 18th century, end of the 18th century. This is a time when the British are trying to establish themselves. Number two, I still feel that Gandhi was a well-read man. And why Mahatma Gandhi in 1930 wrote in Young India that Tipu Sultan was a ruler who respected the Hindus. He, in fact, I quote from Young India where he writes that he was a person who was not disturbed by the prayers of the Hindu bells, and in fact, he in fact built his palace which is near to the temple. So, I mean, Gandhi also believed that he was in fact a ruler who respected the Hindus. Number two, I mean, I have different other historical accounts which suggest, like one of the calendars that he started. Now, the calendar which he started actually begins with the Yugadi festival. Now, that's the new year in Karnataka. Now, why is it that he is starting this in Karnataka with the new year, with the Yugadi, which is a new year day? Secondly, he is also known to have well versed in Bhagavad Gita, where there are discourses in which he participated. Now, he gave grants even to temples as far as Kerala. So, there are, of course, many grants. There are
okay, let Amit Malviya come in, because Amit Malviya, both of these are facts. His reverential letters to the mutts in Kannada is also a fact. That the fact that he converted Christians and Hindus is also a fact. You know, I want to quote to you what Vikram Sampath wrote, you know. Historical figures need to be freed from the clutches of contemporary politics and left to academic study by historians and be judged as products of their time and circumstances. Identification of a ruler's legacy with the community is dangerous, especially when fragile sensitivities are so easily offended. You know, why is any of this relevant to the 2018-19 elections? Now, in Karnataka, the elections a couple of weeks away. How does it even matter? You're trying to apply modern morality to what happened in the 18th-19th century.
You know, Rahul, I quite agree with what Vikram Sampath has written, but the problem in our country is, and the way our history is written, that we want to wash the murderous legacy of all Islamic rulers in this country. We celebrate Aurangzeb, we celebrate Tipu Sultan, who's no better than Aurangzeb of the south. And the fact is that we try and cover up their, you know, bloody regimes. The fact is that Tipu Sultan not just subjugated Hindus and Christians, he also imposed economic cost on them for following their faith. He forced them out of their religion. If they did not, he killed them. That is the reality. If at all what Vikram has said could be true, we should all accept that we've had Islamic past, we've had rulers who have subjugated the natives of this country, and in no way reflects on the Muslim or the minority community today. But unfortunately, politics, as we've seen you know, since independence, has now brought us to a situation where there are counter competing claims on even someone as controversial as Tipu Sultan. But if you go to these areas where Tipu Sultan ruled, you look at the people there, you listen to their stories, you listen to 100 years of their existence, you know for a fact that Tipu Sultan was not a benevolent king. And his benevolence, even if you know, you look at the Shringeri account or a few other temples here and there, were more political in nature even those times. But nobody can deny the fact that he was an Islamic ruler who wanted to defend his territory from the British, and he did everything possible to do that. Tipu Sultan died in 1799 or thereabouts, and the first war of independence was fought in 1857. So his fight against the British was not about independence, it was about just saving his territory. And these are some of the facts that we cannot deny.
Okay, you've heard
maybe history will
very
be
articulate points of view on both
again.
sides of the divide. To my mind, both sides have, you know, important points that they've made, but the reality is that both sides have issues which cannot be defended, which they don't have a strong counter for. And so how long are you going to continue applying current morality to what happened way back? He was a pragmatic king, and yes, it's correct, he was defending his own territory and he did what he thought at that time was relevant. But clearly what's being attempted here is to ensure that this becomes an election issue. Let's see how the voters of Karnataka respond and to what extent they care about what happened way back in 1799, when their bigger concerns are what's happening around them in circa 2018. We're slipping into a break. We'll have more for you when we come back on the other side. The Yogi Adityanath government seems to be moving in Uttar Pradesh towards... Here with us on the newsroom, the Yogi Adityanath government in Uttar Pradesh seems to be moving towards withdrawing 130 plus cases against those who were accused of fomenting the Muzaffarnagar riots. Now, most of these accused happen to be Hindus. Several opposition leaders have hit out saying this is political partisanship, and how can a government in power withdraw cases against people who are generally supporters of the BJP? Here's the full story.
Over 60 lives lost in one of Uttar Pradesh's worst riots in September 2013. More than 50,000 people were displaced, and nearly 5 years later, the Yogi Adityanath government has started the process of withdrawing 131 cases linked to the communal riots in Muzaffarnagar and Shamli.
माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने निर्णय लिया है कि जो भी राजनीतिक दृष्टि से मुकदमे दर्ज हुए हैं उनको हम वापस लेंगे, क्योंकि विभिन्न अदालतों में लगभग 62,000 से अधिक मुकदमे लंबित हैं उत्तर प्रदेश के विभिन्न न्यायालयों में। तो सरकार की ये प्राथमिकताओं में शामिल है कि जो भी राजनीतिक दृष्टि से मुकदमे हैं उनको हम वापस लेंगे।
India Today has accessed the Yogi government's letter written to the district magistrate and the senior superintendent of police of Muzaffarnagar, asking for their opinion on withdrawing the cases. The BJP maintains that the state government is withdrawing only false cases. Opposition parties, though, are calling it amnesty to rioters.
मैंने मांग की है, मुख्यमंत्री से पत्र लिखा था कि जो तोड़फोड़ आगजनी से रिलेटेड मुकदमे हैं वो मुकदमे वापस होने चाहिए, जो पिछली सरकार द्वारा उस समय फर्जी तरीके से दर्ज किए गए थे। उसमें बहुत से निर्दोष लोग शामिल हैं।
You cannot justify withdrawal of cases of such heinous crimes. What BJP in Uttar Pradesh is doing is that they are doing appeasement of Hindutva. They are not governing that state under rule of law but by rule by religion.
जो भी politically motivated cases थे उस पे उसको जो है वापस लेने में कोई बुराई नहीं है। जो जेन्युइन केसेस हैं उस पर कानून के तहत कार्रवाई होगी।
सरकार को ये सुनिश्चित करना पड़ेगा कि दुर्भावना उन्होंने कैसे मापी और कैसे जांची, क्योंकि किसी भी केस को अपनी मर्जी से दुर्भावना बता देना या किसी भी केस को अपनी मर्जी से न्याय संगत बता देना, ये किसी के अपने विजडम पे नहीं हो सकता। उसके कुछ लीगल मापदंड होने चाहिए।
503 cases were registered against around 1,455 people, including former Union Minister Sanjeev Balyan, BJP MLA Umesh Malik and BJP leader Sadhvi Prachi under the then Samajwadi Party government. Balyan and Malik, among other leaders, are accused of making provocative speeches at a Mahapanchayat on August 31st, 2013, which reportedly triggered the riots. Yogi Adityanath had listed law and order as his top priority after he came to power. The decision to drop riot cases raises questions over Yogi's commitment to the crackdown on crime. Are cases being dropped selectively, for instance, or will people responsible for India's worst riots in a decade be let off? The Yogi government is yet to answer these key questions convincingly. With Mausami Singh, Neetu Jain, Kumar Abhishek and Shivendra Srivastav, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's now go across to the man who's pushing for these cases to be withdrawn against these riot-accused Muzaffarnagar MP, senior BJP leader from Western Uttar Pradesh, Sanjeev Balyan, now joins me on the newsroom. Mr. Balyan, you're the one who's the principal driver against this latest move. The letters that are now in the public domain suggest that these cases may be withdrawn by the Yogi Adityanath government. Now, most of these cases, sir, are against the Hindus who were accused of fomenting trouble. पर ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है कि जो आपके सपोर्टर्स हैं, आपकी पार्टी के पक्ष में जो लोग बोल रहे हैं, उनके खिलाफ आप चाहते हैं कि आप ही की सरकार केसेस विड्रॉ कर दे? दिस मेक्स नो सेंस।
राहुल जी, पहली बात तो ये है कि जो मुकदमे वापस लेने की बात है, जो मेरा पत्र था, जिस पत्र के बेस पर आख्या मांगी गई है, उस पत्र में सिर्फ तोड़फोड़ और आगजनी के मुकदमों का जिक्र है। जो संगीन धाराओं में दर्ज मुकदमे हैं उनका मेरे पत्र में कोई जिक्र नहीं है। और अभी सिर्फ आख्या मांगी गई है कि आख्या के बाद सरकार देखेगी क्या वापस लिए जा सकते हैं। और मेरा मानना है कि बहुत छोटे छोटे मुकदमे हैं जिनमें हज़ारों युवा फंसे हुए हैं, पिछले 5 सालों से कचहरी के चक्कर काट रहे हैं, तो उन्हें न्याय मिलना चाहिए। ज़्यादातर मुकदमे फर्जी तरीके से दर्ज हुए थे, मुआवजा लेने के लिए दर्ज हुए या पर्सनल स्कोर सेटल करने के लिए दर्ज हुए। एक एक मुकदमे की 4-4 मुकदमे दर्ज हुए एक एक क्राइम में। तो कहीं ना कहीं उस समय सरकारी दबाव में मुकदमे दर्ज हुए थे। तो मेरा निवेदन अपनी सरकार से यही है, क्योंकि बहुत साल हो चुके हैं इन लोगों को चक्कर काटते हुए, बहुत छोटे छोटे मुकदमे हैं, युवाओं के भविष्य का सवाल है, तो ये वापस ले जाने चाहिए।
No, but Mr. Balyan, let me quote to you what UP's Law Minister Brajesh Pathak said. He says that if these cases are politically motivated, we will consider their withdrawal. Now, here's my problem. If a judge decides that a case is to be withdrawn or scrapped, that's one thing. How can a politician in power ask for a case to be withdrawn, a demand that he's been making when he was in opposition? यही तो आप कह रहे थे, जब आप opposition में हैं, अब आप सरकार में आ गए, आप नहीं करे, आप जुडिशरी तो है नहीं, आप कह रहे हैं कि ये केसेस पॉलिटिकली मोटिवेटेड हैं, पर आप डिसाइड करोगे तो हो सकता है कि जो केस आपको नहीं सूट करते वो आप रहने दो, जो सूट करते हैं वो आप हटा दो, ये भी तो हो सकता है. दिस कुड बी पॉलिटिकली ड्रिवन. इज इट नॉट सेंडिंग आउट अ रॉन्ग मैसेज जब आप कहते हो कि यूपी की सरकार इनको कैंसिल करी, जजेस को करने दो ना कि केस में दम नहीं, हम कैंसिल करते हैं, आप क्यों पुश करते हो इसे?
देखिए, पॉलिटिकल मोटिवेटेड का मतलब हुआ राहुल जी कि उस समय जो मुजफ्फरनगर दंगा हुआ, हत्याएं हुई, सबको पता है, मुकदमे चल रहे हैं, कोई बात नहीं है, जो न्यायालय का फैसला वो सबको मानना पड़ेगा. लेकिन बहुत बड़ी तादाद में सरकार ने घोषणा की जो लोग अपना घर छोड़कर आए हैं, अगर वो मुकदमा दर्ज कराएंगे तो उनको मुआवजा मिलेगा. अगर किसी के घर की एक ईंट गिरी है तो उसने भी 20 लोगों के खिलाफ मुकदमा दर्ज करा दिया, जाइए आप जेल जाइए. बहुत बड़ी तादाद में मुकदमे दर्ज हुए हैं, हजारों निर्दोष युवक और महिलाओं के ऊपर मुकदमे दर्ज हुए हैं. आप इसे पॉलिटिकल मोटिवेटेड नहीं कहेंगे तो क्या कहेंगे? क्यों मुआवजा घोषित किया गया? क्यों एक वर्ग विशेष के लिए मुआवजा था? जो हिंदुओं का पलायन हुआ उनके लिए कोई मुआवजा नहीं था? मैंने आज भी, आप ये दिखाइए, मैंने मुख्यमंत्री से एक मांग की है, जो उस समय हिंदुओं का पलायन हुआ था कुछ गांव से, उनको भी मुआवजा दिया जाए. उनको आज तक मुआवजा नहीं मिला. अगर पॉलिटिकल मोटिवेटेड ना होता तो मुआवजा दोनों पक्ष को मिलना चाहिए था, हिंदू भी और मुस्लिम.
ओके, फेयर इनफ, देयर मे हैव बीन wrongs which were committed, but the fact is that if you look at these cases, there are some reports that talk of 402 cases, some which talk of 130 cases. The cases that are sought to be withdrawn are mostly against Hindus. आप ये तो नहीं कह रहे ना कि अच्छा गलत हुआ, हिंदुओं के साथ मुसलमानों के साथ भी गलत हुआ, कुछ मुसलमान भी मरे, उनकी भी प्रॉपर्टी जली, उनका भी पलायन हुआ, they had to migrate from their villages. आप तो सिर्फ कह रहे हो कि जो 130 केस आप कैंसिल करना चाहते हो वो ज्यादातर केसेस तो केवल हिंदुओं के खिलाफ है ना, ये भी तो एक फैक्ट है सर.
देखिए, मैं 402 नहीं 131 मुकदमों की मैंने रिक्वेस्ट की है माननीय मुख्यमंत्री से. वो 131 मुकदमे आगजनी और तोड़फोड़ के हैं, 402 नहीं है, 131 हैं. दूसरी बात, एक भी मुस्लिम के ऊपर मुजफ्फरनगर दंगों में तोड़फोड़ और आगजनी का मुकदमा दर्ज नहीं है. अगर जो हत्या के मुकदमे हैं वो मुस्लिम के ऊपर भी दर्ज हैं और हिंदुओं के ऊपर भी दर्ज हैं, मैं उनका कहीं जिक्र नहीं किया. मैंने सिर्फ छोटे मुकदमों की बात की और छोटे मुकदमे सिर्फ हिंदुओं के ऊपर दर्ज हैं, मुस्लिम के ऊपर छोटे मुकदमे कोई दर्ज होने ही नहीं दिए गए उस समय.
No, but this is a question of morality and propriety. You know, you might be sending out a message कि चलो मैंने आपके केस कम करवा दिया, हमारी सरकार है, हमने अपने सारे केस बंद करवा दिए. But does this not also send a message that you are interfering in the due process of law and order? कि कानून व्यवस्था की जो प्रक्रिया है उसमें आप हस्तक्षेप कर रहे हो. आप जजेस को तय कर दे दो ना ये. Let the case be fought. If there is no evidence, let the case collapse.
देखिए, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर उत्तर प्रदेश में मुझे नहीं लगता कि देश में किसी भी प्रदेश में इतना अच्छा लॉ एंड ऑर्डर है जितना उत्तर प्रदेश में इस समय पिछले 1 साल से. दूसरी बात यह है कि राजनीति के लिए जो निर्दोष युवक हैं, जिसकी आज एज, जब मुकदमा दर्ज हुआ 18 साल का था, आज वो 23 साल का हो चुका, 5 साल उसके कोर्ट में कटे हैं. क्या राजनीति ये कहती है कि 15 साल 20 साल लगेंगे? एक तोड़फोड़ के मुकदमे को समाप्त होने में 20 साल लगते हैं इस देश में. क्या आप चाहते हैं कि वो व्यक्ति 40 या 45 साल का और जब तक कोर्ट के चक्कर काटता रहे, और जब वो 40-45 साल की एज तक जाए, जब कोर्ट इसको निर्दोष कह दे, वो निर्दोष है, आप जाइए, उसके 20 से 25 साल कौन लौटा पाएगा? आप ये बताइए. बहुत छोटे छोटे मुकदमे हैं राहुल जी, इन मुकदमों में 20-25 साल किसी के जीवन के लेना मैं नहीं मानता उचित है. ये निर्दोष लोग हैं, मैं मानता हूं इनके मुकदमे वापस होने चाहिए. जो छोटे मुकदमे हैं, मैं बड़े मुकदमों की बात बिल्कुल नहीं कर रहा, चाहे हत्या का मुकदमा हो या रेप का मुकदमा हो, सब मुकदमे चलने चाहिए, न्यायालय फैसला करे. लेकिन जो तोड़ फोड़ के छोटे छोटे मुकदमे हैं जिनमें निर्दोष लोगों को फंसा गया, वो वापस होने चाहिए. नहीं, इसमें सबकी एक राय होनी चाहिए, इसमें राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए. निर्दोष लोग हैं.
No, but here's my concern. As you say that, you know, these cases that drag on for years and years on end, आप तो भाई रूलिंग पार्टी के सांसद हो, अगर केस सालों साल खिंच रहा है, you should be trying to fix the entire system. आप सारी जुडिशियल प्रोसेस को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए काम कीजिए ताकि केसेस सबके जल्दी से डिस्पोज ऑफ हो ना. अगर झूठा केस है वो भी डिस्पोज ऑफ हो, सच्चा केस है तो आदमी जेल जाए. But when you seek to selectively have some cases withdrawn, it doesn't fix the system. It only helps those who are your supporters, whose help you need, for example, in the bypolls that happen in a place called Kairana in a few weeks from now.
देखिए, मैं मुजफ्फरनगर से सांसद हूँ, मेरी जिम्मेदारी मुजफ्फरनगर की जनता के प्रति है. मुझे मुजफ्फरनगर की जनता का ज़्यादा चिंता है. मैं पूरे देश के जुडिशियल सिस्टम को नहीं बदल सकता. वो एक बड़ा काम है, वो मेरे बस की बात नहीं है। लेकिन जो निर्दोष मुजफ्फरनगर के लोग जेलों में फंसे हुए हैं, 5 साल से हम भुगत रहे हैं। ये दर्द दंगों का हमने भी भुगता है और दूसरा दर्द मुकदमों का हम भुगत रहे हैं। मैं उनके साथ पहले भी खड़ा था, आज भी खड़ा हूं और आगे भी प्रयास रहेगा कि जो निर्दोष जेलों में पड़े हुए उनको न्याय मिल सके।
Okay, let me leave it there. That's Sanjeev Balyan giving his perspective. I don't agree with this because you're pushing for some cases to be withdrawn. Let the judiciary come to that conclusion. If you ask for these cases to be withdrawn midway, what's the message it's sending out? The supporters of the ruling party can have cases withdrawn. It's a fact that these cases drag on. It's also a fact that some of them are being falsely implicated. But that's when you need to fix the system instead of pushing selectively for some cases to be withdrawn. Sanjeev Balyan, thank you for joining us on the Newsroom. On the Newsroom, we're slipping into a break. When we come back, the war over the Facebook leaks. Welcome back. This is the India Today Newsroom. It's a full-blown war over Facebook data leaks, and it seems to be escalating by the hour. Congress and the BJP continue to exchange barbs. While the BJP has accused the Congress of using tainted British firm Cambridge Analytica for influencing the upcoming elections, the grand old party refutes all charges, saying the BJP is trying to deflect attention from the deaths of 39 Indians in Mosul. Here's the story.
Political fireworks over Facebook data continue to explode. A day after BJP and the Congress traded charges over using the services of tainted British firm Cambridge Analytica, Congress President Rahul Gandhi opened a fresh front against Prime Minister Modi and the BJP. In a tweet, Rahul accused the BJP of deflecting attention from the death of 39 Indians in Mosul.
ये झूठा बयान भाजपा के वरिष्ठ नेता जी ने कल किया है, पर्दाफाश हो चुका है। शाम तक सबको पता चल गया कि कैम्ब्रिज एनालिटिका का किसी ने अगर उपयोग किया है तो भाजपा ने किया है।
But the BJP was not in any mood to take things lying down.
What more can you think of Rahul Gandhi doing politics with lash? The same Rahul Gandhi asked questions about evidence of surgical strike from the army. You know that very well. Come on, it is a somber moment.
राहुल गांधी जी क्या अकल से बिल्कुल पैदल हैं क्या? उन्हें सोचना भी चाहिए कि ये इतना बड़ा पाप, इतना बड़ा अपराध एक इनोसेंट हिंदुस्तानियों के साथ किया जा रहा है। उसमें अगर वो एक्सपोजर हुआ है और उसमें खुद इस गड़बड़ झाले और इस घोटाले के में शामिल लोग एक्सपोज हो रहे हैं, तो उसको आप दूसरी तरफ को घुमाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। इससे लगता है कि दाल में काला ही नहीं, दाल की दाल पूरी काली है।
As BJP and the Congress locked horns, Amrish Tyagi, the MD of Indian subsidiary of Cambridge Analytica, has clarified that he's associated with the tainted firm but not involved in any data breach. His father, JDU leader KC Tyagi too, declared that he was open to a probe against his son and claimed that the JDU had never used the services of Cambridge Analytica or OBI.
कोई हमने मदद हमारे बेटे ने, हमारा कोई सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता। और जनता दल यू से तो इसका एटलांटिकी का कोई वास्ता ही नहीं है।
So far, both the BJP and the Congress have denied using services of Cambridge Analytica, and it has not been proven if the tainted firm indulged in any illegality in India or whether they misuse data of voters in any way. With Paulami Saha and Meetu Jain in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where we end the newsroom tonight. I'm taking a 2-day break. I look forward to seeing you next week. Till then, from all of us here in the India Today newsroom, goodbye, good night.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.